Gandhi's religio-political action was based on an ancient metaphysic of man, a philosophical wisdom which is common to Hinduism, Buddhism, Islam, Judaism, and Christianity. That truth is the inner law of our being. Not that man is merely an abstract essence, and that our action must be based on logical fidelity to a certain definition of man. Gandhi's religious action is based on a religious intuition of being in man and in the world, and his vow of truth is a vow of fidelity to being in all its accessible dimensions. His wisdom is based on experience more than on logic. Hence, the way of peace is the way of truth, of fidelity to wholeness and being, which implies a basic respect for life, not as a concept, not as a sentimental figment of the imagination, but in its deepest, most secret, and most fontal reality. The first and fundamental truth is to be sought in respect for our own inmost being, and this in turn implies the recollectedness and the awareness which attune us to that silence in which alone being speaks to us in all its simplicity. Therefore, Gandhi recognized, as no other world leader of our time has done, the necessity to be free from the pressures, the exorbitant and tyrannical demands of a society that is violent because it is essentially greedy, lustful, and cruel. Therefore, he fasted, observed days of silence, lived frequently in retreat, knew the value of solitude, as well as of the totally generous expenditure of his time and energy in listening to others and communicating with them. He recognized the impossibility of being a peaceful and nonviolent man if one submits passively to the insatiable requirements of a society maddened by overstimulation and obsessed with the demons of noise, voyeurism, and speed. Jesus died in vain, said Gandhi, if he did not teach us to regulate the whole of life by the eternal law of love. Strange that he should use this expression. It seems to imply at once concern and accusation. As Asians sometimes do, Gandhi did not hesitate to confront Christendom with the principles of Christ. Not that he judged Christianity, but he suggested that the professedly Christian civilization of the West was in fact judging itself by its own acts and its own fruit. There are certain Christian and humanitarian elements in democracy, and if they are absent, democracy finds itself on trial, weighed in the balance, and no amount of verbal protestations can prevent it from being found wanting. Events themselves will proceed inexorably to their conclusion. Pacem in Terris has suggested the same themes to the meditation of modern Europe, American, and Russia. Civilization must learn to prove its claims by a capacity for the peaceful and honest settlement of disputes, by genuine concern for justice toward people who have been shamelessly exploited and races that have been systematically oppressed, or the historical preeminence of the existing powers will be snatched from them by violence, perhaps in a disaster of cosmic proportions. Gandhi believed that the central problem of our time was the acceptance or the rejection of a basic law of love and truth which had been made known to the world in traditional religions and most clearly by Jesus Christ. Gandhi himself expressly and very clearly declared himself an adherent of this one law. His whole life, his political action, finally even his death, were nothing but a witness to his commitment. If love is not the law of our being, the whole of my argument falls to pieces. What remains to be said? It is true that Gandhi expressly disassociated himself from Christianity in any of its visible and institutional forms. But it is also true that he built his whole life and all his activity upon what he conceived to be the law of Christ. In fact, he died for this law which was at the heart of his belief. Gandhi was indisputably sincere and right in his moral commitment to the law of love and truth. A Christian can do nothing greater than follow his own conscience with a fidelity comparable to that which Gandhi obeyed what he believed to be the voice of God. Gandhi is, it seems to me, a model of integrity whom we cannot afford to ignore, and the one basic duty we all owe to the world of our time is to imitate him in disassociating ourselves from evil in total disregard of the consequences, which means abandoning the machine, the system, them, those in power, forever, and letting them suffer the consequences of their own actions. Don't give in to the system. Don't play the game anymore. Don't buy the next thing just because they say you need it. Don't spend frivolously on food at fast food restaurants that is going to kill you. Don't. Not because we're trying to stop you from having fun, but we're trying to let you have more fun. We want you to live. We want you to thrive. But if you continue to capitulate to this crap, continue to accept that because this guy said that there's war happening, that's not how America works. Read the Constitution. But no, we won't do that. I'm just here madly raving into the ether of the internet, and everybody just sits around and does nothing. Whatever. Criticize me all you want. Criticize my politics, criticize my Christianity, criticize me as a husband. But I know that what I'm saying here, as far as America, as far as politics, as far as theology, is true.